Hello everyone, welcome to SIUK India webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We are live with the University of Bath. We have James, the recruitment manager with us today, who will let us know more about this special webinar session. Please feel free to post all the questions in the chat box on the right. We will answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start. Over to you, James.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Deepika. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's exciting session where we're going to cover lots of different bits of information that's really important for you guys when you're deciding which university is for you and also knowing a bit more about the next steps you can expect. So today's session, our journey from India to Bath and beyond, is going to all be from the student's perspective and one of our recent graduates as well. So before I introduce those guys, my name is James O'Grady, like Deepika just mentioned, and I work within the postgraduate student recruitment and admissions office at the university. So any questions you've got about the processes, scholarships, anything like that throughout the session, I'll be here to answer them as well as guide the flow of conversation. But more importantly than me, and not for the first time, is our student panel and our alumni panel. And today I'm delighted that we have three panelists with us to share their insights and experiences with you. So we're going to go around and everyone's going to introduce themselves very, very briefly, if you don't mind, guys. Starting with Saurav. Saurav Panda, would you like to just say hello to everyone and give a brief introduction?
Thanks, James. Hello, everyone. I'm Saurav, doing Masters in Data Science with a placement here at University of Bath. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. And Ehtisham?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ehtisham. I'm doing MS in International Management at the University of Bath. I'm from Calcutta.
Perfect. And our recent graduate, Yogith?
Yeah, hi all. So I'm Yogith. So I did my MBA last year from University of Bath, and I'm currently heading the imports of supply chain in PepsiCo UK.
Perfect. Thank you, Yogith. Delighted to have all of you here today, as I said, to share your insights. And today's talk, we're going to cover three kind of themes, I suppose, or three topics. We're going to kick things off by thinking about why Bath, why the UK. So I will give a very brief overview about the university, and then it'll be over to the panelists to explain why they chose to come to the UK to start with, and then how did they decide, how did they navigate, the different universities, higher education in the UK, and decide upon Bath. In the second part, we're then going to dive into campus and student life. What's it like to actually be a student in the UK, be a student at Bath? And then we're going to finish things off by thinking about the future. And that's why we've got that beyond in the title, about employability support and about kind of thinking about your graduate prospects after you complete your studies at the university. So without further ado, we're going to kick things off now and dive into the first theme, which is the big question, which you should all be thinking, why Bath to start with? Why University of Bath out of all the other different institutions in the UK? So a little bit of a sales pitch from me to kick things off in terms of a bit about our reputation, our standing. And in the UK, there are three national rankings that cover or assess all of the public universities here. And we are top 10. We are a triple top 10 UK university across all three rankings. So I guess just peace of mind knowing that if you do choose Bath, you're choosing one of the top universities the UK has to offer. Not only that, and this is something we're going to touch upon at the very end of today's talk, we're also renowned for our graduate employability. And in fact, very recently, we were ranked in the top 100 worldwide in the QS university rankings in terms of graduate employability, graduates going on to secure a job within 15 months normally after graduating. So hopefully later you tune in and listen to the panelists and you'll hear a bit more about the support on offer, but also the student experience, because we're currently first for student satisfaction in England and also fourth in the UK in a different set of rankings. And just a very, very brief bit of information about the university's core themes before we hand over to the panelists to share their own side of the story. So these are kind of the key themes, the key ethos, I suppose, as a university. We are a research-led teaching university, so we have nearly 90% of our research has been assessed as world-class, world-leading by the most recent REF Research Excellence Framework rankings and studies. So we have the highest, the latest research available, and you'll be learning from those at the cutting edge of the field you decide to study. which obviously is important for you, regardless of whether you do a PhD, a master's, or a bachelor's degree at Bath. Another key factor for the university is that we really focus on practice-based learning. So about learning based on real situations and on real studies, real case studies, to make what you study relevant to the real world and translatable. It's a global focus, so we try to encourage students from around the world to join the university. We have over 130 nationalities represented on campus, but also our staff are based or have come from every continent of the globe. Then professional development, career support are really key for university, and professional development is often found embedded in the program syllabus. So you might see actually in the curriculum, many courses have a unit dedicated only to professional development. But regardless, there are other extracurricular ways for you to ensure that you're not just developing as a student, but also as a future professional. Career support we're going to cover later on, so we'll hover over that for now. And alumni engagement. I guess the key point here is when you finish at Bath, just like Yogurth recently did, you don't just walk away. We want to keep in touch and develop that network. Currently, we have over 120,000 alumni connected all around the world. So you can make the most of those connections as well after you've finished your studies. And I think just a final kind of bit from me before we go to the key part, and that I suppose is the university's overall ethos and how it ties into our foundations. So in our chartership, this is what gave us our university status. It actually explicitly said that the objects of the university shall be to advance learning and knowledge by teaching and research in close association with industry and commerce. So from the get-go, we've always had that focus on bridging the divide between the world of work and academia. And that is why 100% of our bachelor degree courses have placements. And hopefully, as we'll hear later on, the courses also have a real focus on instilling kind of employability skills within each student that joins the university. Right, that's enough for me for the sales pitch. Let's hand over now to the panelists and let's hear a bit more about why you guys chose, first of all, the UK, and then maybe how did you decide upon Bath after doing all of your research? So let's kick things off with you, Saurav. So you're looking for a data science course in the UK. Why did you decide that you wanted to go to the UK to begin with?
Yeah, I chose UK because of many factors. Like UK has 1 year of courses, like all master's courses are UK are mostly for 1 year of education. And our batch is the first batch to receive PSW, which allows us to sponsor our own visa for the next 2 years, and we can do all kinds of job, including business and startups and all those kinds of things. So there was a good chance of getting visa, and that's why I chose UK.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Etisham, was it the same for you as well?
Yes. Along those lines, it's kind of the same because, UK is now the government is allowing the PSW. So that's a plus point for students like us to, it like opens up a little bit of the timeline to look for jobs if you haven't secured anything right after the course. So yes, that was the main criteria for me choosing UK. And then, the 1 year master's course. So that saves up a lot of time as well. And then the quality of education here is undoubtedly one of the best which the world has to offer. So that is another factor. And plus UK as a country, like if you can make, if you can just bag a job for yourself, then the life and the work-life balance here is pretty awesome compared to other countries. So that is bad.
Yeah, I like it. I like your thinking. It is true that I think maybe European countries in general maybe have a focus on that work-life balance. Make sure you get the holidays as well as put in the hours. Nice. Okay, perfect. And Yoga, finally, is there anything you'd like to add, or was it the visa?
Yeah, it's kind of similar. So UK is like if you have London in UK. So London is one of the world's most powerful city. So I have seen many people going to US to do their masters, but then I'm like, okay, like what am I to do in UK? So so UK, I have done some research and found out that UK also has very good opportunities. And luckily, so from this batch, we also have PSWs, which give you an extra window to stay in UK, to understand the job market and get the sponsorship. So that's why I think UK was a better choice for me than any other country.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually. There's probably many students watching today, I'm sure perhaps one of the reasons you're thinking of going to the UK is maybe linked to the visa, the fact that you can work yeah, at any kind of organization without needing a sponsor for at least 2 years after graduation. So yeah, perfect. Thank you. And at the end of the presentation, like I said, we've got a bit on careers. So hopefully we can give you guys watching a bit more knowledge about how we can also support you in finding work once you finish your studies. Perfect. That's good to know kind of the more wider perspective, I suppose. So let's now turn thinking more specifically. How did you kind of understand which courses were best for you? And then also, obviously, how did you kind of find that Bath was the destination of choice? Let's start with you, Saurav, on this one. So why did you decide on Bath in the end?
Yeah, sure. I chose Bath because I wanted a few specific modules in data science like Bayesian machine learning and reinforcement learning. And fortunately, I think there are two universities in UK which provide these two modules together. And Bath was one of them. And apart from that, during this process, I was actually working for Accenture, and I had access to a few HRs who were in part of recruiting data science roles at Accenture. And from them, I came to know that the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science is highly regarded in terms of employer. They regard University of Bath really well, and that is why I chose Bath.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, word of mouth is always kind of reassuring, isn't it? If there's people you know that kind of recommend something, it's always a trustworthy source, I suppose.
Apart from all the facts that you just mentioned, like it is regarded by Times, and specifically the data science course before we joined was regarded as one of the best course in UK. So apart from all those things, all those research over the internet, these things were what driven my decision.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Yeah, a bit of a balance between the two then, maybe a bit of independent research, word of mouth recommendation. Lovely. Thank you, Saurav. How about yourself, Etisham?
Okay, so I chose Bath because the School of Management is very renowned in the UK, and B, because staying in Bath is a beautiful city, and as well as it is very commutable to metropolitan cities like Bristol and London. So Bristol is just a 12-minute train ride, and you can also take the local bus and go to Bristol, and London is say about 1.5 hours train ride. So in that way, you get the best of both worlds. And the University of Bath is beautiful. The kind of city is beautiful. The course is nice. The faculty cohort is nice. So all of these factors drove my decision.
So did you know about the location, for example, of the city? Did you do some research before coming?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, nice.
So I spoke to the current graduates who were pursuing their graduation the previous year. So everyone highly recommended it. So that was
okay, nice. Yeah, that's good. A good approach. Did you do that for an event held by the university, or was it independently reaching out to the students?
I attended open days as well, and I reached out to students individually as well.
Okay, perfect. Lovely, Etisham. Thank you very much. And then Yogi, finally, in your case, obviously a little bit longer, 2020 now, so it's a bit while back, but what kind of drove you to Bath?
Yeah, so for me, like Bath MBA was in top 10 in UK. So I also spoke to many alumni who did the MBA from the university, and everyone had only good things to say about university. And the companies which people are be working after the MBA are pretty much good. So in that way, I thought that MBA would the university's relationship with the companies will give me an advantage to get into those companies. And here I am. So I think our batch did pretty well. So because we had people working in EY, Amazon, and myself in PepsiCo. So all top companies are looking into Bath. So I think in that way, Bath is in top in university. So, and also the location, as I was saying, it's quite close to London and Bristol, where most of the companies are located. So in that way, I pretty much, it's on top rated university, and faculty were really good, so they were really supportive. The careers team. So I was also talking about the career support from the alumni. So everyone had I didn't listen even a single negative thing about university. So that's why I chose Bath over some other universities which have been admitted.
Okay, Perfect. Nice. There's a common thread, I guess, running through all of your answers there, that you've kind of looked at the course, reputation of the university, but then did also a bit of research on the location. Is it the right place to be based to study as well? And I think I'm glad, because that's what I often tell students.
And I also have one point to add. So for MBA, there's a program called multi-project suite. So wherein all the MBAs in UK, so they work with only one company or on one topic. But Bath MBA makes you work on 5 different projects over the year. So where you get the chance to work with a startup, a mid-scale company, and MNC, also having your own startup. So where you can see, okay, which is your zone. So are you a person who want to work in startup? Are you a person who want to work in a mid-scale company? Are you a person who want to work in an MNC? So you can get the access to all the kind of working experience. And yeah, so that's completely unique in Bath. So other universities don't have such kind of programs with them. So Bath was standing out in that aspect.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you, Yogev. And we'll probably turn a bit more to that in a bit as well near the end when we go through the careers section of the presentation. That's really helpful, guys. Thank you for sharing your experiences there. Just to say that do keep those questions coming through, guys. We are acknowledging your questions that you're putting in the chat, in the comments, and we'll hopefully have lots of time at the end to answer any queries you've got. But for now, we'll just keep on going. That was really helpful to hear a bit about your more general kind of motivations and also your Bath specific reasons. Right, let's go into the next part. This is a bit more, a bit of a light topic, I suppose, looking at what's it been like to be a student in the UK, perhaps more pertinently, what's it been like to be a student at Bath University? And we'll tie this in as well with both campus life, city life, and just generally how you found it being a student in the UK, maybe compared to your experiences in India, undergraduate level, if you wish. So just before we kick start, we've kind of covered this already, thanks to your astute answers earlier, guys. But just to highlight to anyone who missed it, Bath is in the southwest of the UK, in case you're wondering. It's about 12 to 15 minutes from Bristol, about 80 to 90 minutes to London by train. And then you're also quite close to Cardiff, the capital of Wales, in about 45 minutes to an hour. And to reach Bath, you go to Heathrow Airport, and we can pick you up in September time each year if you decide to choose Bath. Just to mention here, and we're going to see it in a second, Bath is also a really beautiful city, and I'm sure you won't be let down, you won't be disappointed if you do come and live in the city of Bath. I will show you a bit more of what it's like in a moment. Just very briefly here, guys, to introduce you to the campus. So you can see here, we've got campus life, and down on the bottom left-hand corner is a sports training village. And then the main part of campus is here. It's called the Parade. And on the Parade, you'll find the 24-hour library, which is open every single day of the year. You'll also find on the Parade the Student Union, in case you want to get involved in any societies or hit the bar after a hard day's study. Opposite here, you've got the lake, which I'm sure you've seen either in this presentation earlier or on the website. It's a very picturesque lake. And then in the far corner, you've got study space just for postgrad students. The doctors and dentists is on campus, and there's about 13 different restaurants, cafes. For anyone thinking about accommodation, we have both campus accommodation for undergraduate students and then city accommodation for postgrad students. And it's about 15 to 20 minutes by bus to get from the campus to the city. You can walk, but it can be quite a steep hill, as I'm sure all of the panelists will attest to. And it can be a bit busy, the traffic in peak times. So that's kind of just a real kind of snapshot of the campus, I suppose. As I said, far right-hand corner is the city, which I'll show you in a bit more detail now. So if we look here, this is where we get our name Bath from. So these are the Roman baths. So we have the only natural hot springs in the UK. So this is the natural hot spring Bath. If you win a scholarship, and I saw some scholarship questions coming through already. So if you do win a scholarship, and I'll cover what is available later on, your scholarship ceremony at postgrad level will be here in September. So something to look forward to. But either way, you can actually visit for free by showing your library card at any point throughout your studies at Bath. And it is one of the safest cities. It's got a real dangerous edge to Bath, which students do kind of find a relief, actually, because, obviously bigger cities or some cities, you might have parts that you might need to avoid at night and so on. But Bath being a relatively small, very safe and affluent city, there's no sort of dangerous part to be careful of. It's also, as I said, very picturesque. So it's got a very historic atmosphere to it, but it is vibrant as well. And it has a youthfulness because of the 2 universities that are based in Bath. So the population's about 100,000 in total. And you'll find students like here, listening to live music, going to pubs, bars, cafes on the weekend. 25 minutes, 30 minutes, you're in some beautiful, pristine countryside. And as we mentioned already, hop on a train and you're in a big industrial city within 15 minutes or so. One point here that I always like to say is that the blue skies, I have to say, are not guaranteed. I say looking out the window at nice grayness. So yeah, do bring an umbrella if you are allergic to the rain, or just embrace it like the English and go umbrella-less. And that's kind of where I am right now. And now kind of that kind of whistle-stop tour through the campus and the city, just to give you a bit of a flavour, I would like to now again turn to the panelists to share kind of your experiences of campus and city life and just generally student life here in UK in Bath. So let's start with you, Etisham, this time round. Etisham, how have you found it living in Bath, studying at the campus as a student?
Living in Bath is beautiful. The people here are very nice, and this city has got a vibe. You know, there are a lot of students around. So in the evenings, usually like midweek, Wednesday or Tuesday nights, you will see students all around the city, like in the pubs or in the clubs, or weekends are also busy. Weekend evenings are busy because, as James said, like there are 2 universities. So you would always see in the city center a lot of students are around, and then so the student life is pretty lit here. It's nice. Everyone has got their own pace, so you have that peace of mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
nice. You enjoy the city. And in terms of like, actually, we'll come to that in a minute. Let's start with the city, and we'll come to student life after. So yeah, thank you, Etisham. So how about yourself? Did the city surprise you, or was it kind of what you expected? Had you done lots of research already and knew what awaited you when you arrived in the UK?
Well, I'm a little fortunate and I had a very good landlord. I did not do much of research, but once I came here, I got all information from him. As far as city is concerned, it has as much glitter as you want. Uh, you get all kinds of groceries and food items, like specifically for Indian groceries and food items, and there is no major issues in that. And we have a very good sports facilities in the campus, and it's a fact that out of the 22 gold medals that UK has won, 11 were from University of Bath, so it's about 50%. Yeah, and we have opportunities to book session like personal training sessions from the coaches based on availability. There is 1500 plus square meters of gym facilities, which is really good. And we have almost all kind of sports facility, and most of the sports facilities are free of cost, which is included in the student library card. And there are few nominal charges for few facilities, which tends to get overcrowded.
Perfect. Thank you, Saurav. Nice overview there of campus as well. And Yogith, I know you're not living in Bath at the moment.
I'm in Bath.
Oh, you are in
Bath?
Bath.
It's so beautiful. The city is so good. So I'm living in Bath, but I'll be moving out in like June.
Okay. 1 more month.
So like I'll be moving out of Bath. I have no option because of my works. I had to go out of Bath. But yeah, Bath is a lovely city. So even after my MBA, so I have been living in Bath for like almost 9 months now, and the city has everything to offer. It has a good party life. It has the peace. It has the views. It has everything. So Bath is a complete package. So it's like people say London is good, but I personally love Bath over London. London is full of hustle, bustle, and it's not safe. Bath is safe. So like one time, so I had to walk at morning 4 in the morning back to my home, and it was fully safe. So 4 in the morning, so you can't expect those kind of safeties in a city like London or something else. So Bath in that terms, it's safe, it is secure, it is beautiful. So yeah, so I want to live in Bath, and hopefully I want to settle in Bath after my like 2 years.
Well, you're always welcome here, Yogith.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice. Perfect. And then I guess just very briefly in terms of campus life as well, guys. So sorry, I know you covered a bit already about what the campus has got to offer. I guess just more generally about being a student at Bath, maybe being a student in the UK, but also obviously because your experiences are relevant to Bath specifically. Etisham, how have you found the balance of like student life and social life, and how have you found, because obviously it's a 1 year master's, as you mentioned earlier. So have you found it to be intensive, or obviously you're working part-time, but how have you found the kind of the balance between work life, student life?
To be honest, the way this course is structured, it's not going to get to you too much, except for certain exam periods, but that is pretty obvious. Like exam periods are intense, I think, everywhere around the world. So the way it is structured, if you are at par every time, the balance is pretty fine. You can get a good social life as well, plus the academic life is also nice. So for me, the balance is pretty fine. And along with that, so the cohort is nice, the student is nice, so everyone likes socializing. You meet often with your cohort, so
nice.
That is also pretty interesting. So
how have you found the studying style? So has it differed from what you're used to in India?
Yeah, studying style is different. Here, studying style is very practical based, very research based. A lot of issues which are the study structure, the assignments, and all deal with a lot of issues which are currently going around in the world. So that opens up a lot of different views and perspective about the issues. Whereas in India, it is not really like that. In India, the education system is a lot of bookish knowledge. So here that is different. Here you have to do your own research, and here education is not spoon-fed. So you're told what you need to do, and then you need to do your own research and deliver that piece of assignment. So that gives you a lot of authority, self-authority while delivering. So that is a very good part.
I hear that a lot actually, that students are surprised by how you left your own devices. Obviously you're given like the direction, but then you to find your way almost with the support of the academics. Yeah. Okay, nice. Well, it sounds like you're doing okay so far. You're nearly over the line. So congratulations for adapting, acclimatizing to the different style. Saurav, how about yourself in terms of just being a student, I suppose? Has it lived up to expectations?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Unlike what Etisham said, I like, because data science has a very diverse group of students. We all come from different backgrounds and we all have our own individual experience. I found it little challenging, the course being a little more intense, because obviously it's a 1 year course and then it is divided into 3 semesters, being dissertation in summer. I found it little intense, and there, like, we are upon our self for the deliveries, as Etisham mentioned. Yeah, that's absolutely true. There is no limit. We can learn as much as we want, but I had some great support from the university as well. Like whenever I wanted some extra support, there was MASH, which supported in maths related issue. Our professors were really helpful in organizing some extra labs, so that we can interact with PhD students and then get help from them. There were other things like academic writing skills, which is really important to write dissertations and things like that. We have special support for that, and all kind of other things. We can get help from the student support, which actually was really helpful to overcome the intensity of the course.
Perfect. And so have you teamed me up nicely for the next section we're going to turn to now, because I can see there's a lot of questions coming through, and a lot of those are about career support, placements, campus internships, things like that. So I'm gonna continue now to the last kind of focus, the last theme for today, which is all about enhancing your employability. So how can Bath kind of support you in achieving your career ambitions? And like we said at the outset, we are renowned for our support of students, career support, top 100 in the world for employability of the students that we kind of train up here at Bath. So we're going to kind of just very briefly, my side, I'm just going to cover the support that's on offer. There is other support apart from careers, like we just mentioned, so I've touched upon very briefly there about academic skills support, math support. If there's anything you're struggling with academically, there's a lot of support there. But careers is obviously a really important one for you. And I'm sure for many, just like our panelists here, one of the reasons you're choosing the UK is because of that post-study work visa opportunity. And so the more the university can do for you, the better. So the careers team at Bath, just to let you know, is there from the moment you arrive as a student and for as long as you need it. So career support at Bath is actually a lifetime. It can be up until you retire. If you need it for that long, you can continue to stay in touch even a year, 2 years, 5 years after you finish your studies. So it's a lifetime support, and they can help you in a variety of ways. So they can help you just generally in connecting you with opportunities to get extracurricular kind of experience to help enhance your CV. And they can also help you to start your own business. And we actually have an innovation center in the city where if you wanted to get involved in starting your own business and you have an entrepreneurial flair, we can help support you in your ambitions. Getting a part-time job, the Students' Union are very good at helping with that in collaboration with the careers team. And getting an internship and placement is another way in which we can kind of support you. So many courses have a placement opportunity, or in fact, all undergraduate courses have a placement opportunity. At postgrad level, the computer science courses do, some of the psychology courses, and some of the other programs have shorter 3-month opportunities to take placements or practicums. And then a lot of the business courses have what we call practice tracks, where you do a consultancy style project over the course of about 3 weeks based in Bath. So different opportunities there to kind of connect you with companies and allow you to engage with industry, all with the ambition of helping you to then go on and find the job you want after your studies. And that kind of brings us to point 5 here. It's about getting a graduate job, and the resources we have will depend on which course you're joining. You have different careers teams situated in different parts of the university. So for example, the MBA careers team, the School of Management careers team, the general university careers team will be there to guide you every step of the way. So I'm going to kind of going to kick things off, because I know, Yogith, you have to leave a little bit early today because obviously you're a working man, so I don't want you to get in trouble. No, absolutely not. Thank you for joining. I don't want you to get in trouble with your employer. So let's kind of turn to you first to get some questions so you can answered, and then you can kind of go off and continue with your working day there. So I guess in terms of career support, Yogith, you're now working at Pepsi in London, or Reading, is it?
Reading, yeah.
Reading, yeah. So maybe just a bit about what you're doing at the moment, and we'll rewind. So what exactly do you do for PepsiCo?
So like I am the head of imports. So PepsiCo like has around like 20% of the snacks coming from Europe. So I make sure that everything is coming on time, and all the execution part, the customs part, the shipments. So I look after all these things, and like I have two members working under me. So they do the day and day works. So I make sure that everything is as per business needs. So yeah, I'm looking after it. It's more like a proper MBA role. Like after doing an MBA, you want to go into operations or supply chain, wherein like I can put in some of the frameworks which have been taught in MBA to here. So like basically managing the inventory, the cost, stakeholders. So like whatever the MBA has taught me in the classroom, so I'm able to reflect that in the work life. So in that way, I feel that this is the perfect post MBA job for me.
Yeah, so it directly relates to what you studied, and you could apply your study into the right. It's perfect, really, I suppose. So you felt like you could hit the ground running when you took on the position. Perfect. And then I guess in terms of like, let's rewind then, and you're in the course until you graduated in 2021, so last year. How did you find that role? Because I'm sure there's many students who are looking for similar positions in PepsiCo of our global corporations. How did you manage to kind of settle down and secure that role?
Yeah, so basically we our careers team, so they had some contacts with PepsiCo. So when I found out about the role, then I went to my careers team and said that, okay, fine, I have an opening in PepsiCo and also in few other companies. So then they introduced me to their contacts in the company. So then I had a small chat with them to know more about the role, because before applying for the role, I want to know more about that. Like, how is the role? Like, what are the expectations and all these things. So I had a small chance to have a chat with them, and then they gave me a reference. So here reference is important because in UK, so for you to get an interview call job, if you have a reference, it will be a booster kind of thing. It's not that if you have a reference, you get a job, but you get an interview call. So in getting interview calls, our careers team is helping us a lot because they have contacts with, they have relationships with EY and all the top companies like Accenture, EY, Capgemini, Rolls-Royce, and PepsiCo. So that kind of like helped me to get an interview call. And then interview, it's all about like how you gonna master the interview. And even here, so the careers team is here to take your mock interview and say what are the areas of improvement, what is being expected in the role, and what are you talking. So are they matching, or is there any gap? So what is the gap? So how can you fill in the gap? So they are here to support you in each and every way. So starting from your applications till the interview. So every step, it just, you need to go and speak to them. You need to go and ask, okay, fine, I need a help. They are more than happy to help you. You can't expect to be like sitting silently in the cohort or class somewhere and then expecting them to come to you and help. So it won't work in that way. You should step up. You should send a message on like all the career team members are like always available on Teams. Like you can send them a message at whatever time you want. So they'll reply back to you like within few minutes. So their response is so quick. And then you book in a slot for half an hour or 1 hour, depending upon the intensity. If it is an interview call, then it would be for 1 hour. We would sit down, like I was sitting down with my careers head, going through each and every point of the job description and making a story for that. So in that way, it made me prepare not just for an interview, but for even for other interviews. So when you get into the groove, so it makes you a better person. So in that way, careers team is always there to support you, even though if an interview goes wrong, which is not in your way. So they try to focus on the positive aspects, like what you have done in the interview, the best part, and will make you learn on the negative part, and then like make you like, they kind of motivate you to do more. That way, like career support was so good for me.
Yeah, no. How often would you say you use the career service?
So yeah, like almost like from the month of June. So June, July was the peak time where I started my application. So I was meeting at least once a week. And then in August, like I had like almost interview almost every alternate week. So even then, like I had like before every interview, I had to go sit with my careers team and then see like what's going wrong in my previous thing. So yeah, it was like almost like once or twice a week in the first 2 months, and then once a week in the next 2 months. So yeah, they're completely open. So it's not like they have a fixed hours.
Yeah,
They don't have any fixed hours. So it's like the more interviews you have, the more time you're gonna spend on you.
Perfect. Nice. So I guess in a nutshell, then your tips are: 1, make the most of the connections so you can get a reference from a company to support you with your application, and 2, make the most of the support that's there, and don't feel shy. Go ahead and make use of the services. Go as much as you can or as much as you need to. Don't hold back. Would you say that's needs to perfect? Yogesh, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy work schedule to come and share us today.
Sorry, I have to leave. Yeah.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Hopefully see you again soon. And I'm sure you can't hear it, but there's hundreds of claps across India right now.
Thank you. Thank you all. See you soon.
Take care. See you soon. Take care now. Perfect. And then let's go over to, obviously, Saurav and HM, you're still a student or students at Bath. So perhaps you can give a bit more insight. Saurav, a question came through I saw about placements on campus. Now, I think this is referring to graduate jobs. So before I just get to my question, Saurav, a bit of rabbiting, just to be clear that in the UK, generally, the term placements means internships, whereas I know in India it means graduate jobs. So we would refer to placements as graduate jobs. And when we say placements, we mean internships. So just make sure that's clear. And that's not just Bath, that is UK wide. In terms of like graduate jobs at Bath more generally, just to mention, on top of all the career support, we do have careers fairs at Bath twice a year where companies will showcase their opportunities, and then you can go away and apply autonomously for them independently with the support of the careers team if you need it. So it's not like in India where companies will interview you on campus and there's that seamless transition into the workplace. But there are opportunities, of course, to make the most of Bath's connections to industry. We have over 3,000 companies we work with, and there's lots of ways in which you can engage with those companies and then go off and apply with the support and the helping hand of the University of Bath. Hopefully that's a bit clearer. Now I'm going to turn to placements as we mean them, which is internships. And I know, Saurav, your course has an internship, a placement option. Just give us a bit of information about that. I know you're not 100% sure whether you're going to go with it or whether you're going to go with a full-time job straight out of graduation. But if you did go with the placements, how's the experience been for any students who are looking at a course with an internship placement year option?
Sure. Though there are three kinds of jobs, but mostly the process remains the same. So, like sending an application, then resume, and then cover letter. So these things are the main three things that every student has to do, and it is very unusual to what we do in India. Like in India, we just most of the time we need to have a resume, and it is only needed once we get into the interview stage. And prior to that, we have assessment and other things. But here, once we send our application with resume, post that the recruitment process starts, and the career support team, the computer science career support team has been very helpful from the beginning to the end. Like you can just think about any particular type of service that you want from them or any particular type of support, and they have it starting from cover letter, resume, and also there is like four people. Like you can just book a slot with 4 person, and then you will have a small group discussion, small interview, which and it will be like a simulation of what you actually going to get it in your actual interview process, and then you can get an extensive feedback and then work on it and then again go back. So there are, I think, about 5 or 6 different slots. Like you can book a 10-minute slot to get a quick like get your quick questions answered, a 20-minute slot to get your resume, and I think a 30 or 50-minute slots for interview and cover letter review. Apart from that, because University of Bath has such a wide network of alumni, many times when our own alumni have an impression on the company, that really helps. For a few company where I have given my interview, they were really pleased with the prior internship that University of Bath students had done, and they give somewhat like some kind of preference because they know that we are really well taught in terms of concepts and we can perform well. We have some kind of preference over other universities sometimes.
Perfect, comprehensive there. In terms of your own journey, so I heard breaking news that you've recently been offered a placement. Would you just give an opportunity, just a bit of a very light bit of information about what the placement would involve, the internship year, where it is, and what the role is, I suppose, as well?
Yeah, sure. So I just recently got a placement offer from Unix Traffic, which is a part of Siemens group, and the placement is data science and IoT engineer, which is in Poole, the city Poole, which is near Bournemouth. They have the largest manufacturing facilities over there, and the placement is there. And generally, we get advertisements in the My Future page that we all have access to as an alumni and a student at university. And I found this advertisement there. And generally in UK, it is quite an extensive process, and each application take about 1.5 months, 2 months. I have few applications for very big pharma clients like Roche and things. Like they give reply after 2.5, 3 months also. And so it is like that in UK. It is little slow and it is extensive. And for every step, you can approach the university. And because the university has specific career team for each of the department, like computer science has its own team, so they really know from their past student that what exactly happens for that particular role in the interview, so they can really guide you well, and you would know what exactly is going to happen. That really helped me in securing this role, actually.
Perfect. Thank you. Etisham, I don't know if you've got anything to add to that, really. I mean, how's your kind of, how are you getting along with your applications for jobs? Are you looking yet, or are you focusing on your studies at the moment?
No, so I've been actively looking for jobs, and though I haven't got anything yet, but I have a couple of assessment centers in the coming week itself. So I've made it to the initial stages of the application, and now the assessment centers are there. So though I haven't got anything yet, but I feel that talking to other members of the cohort, that if people look extensively, then people are getting jobs in the UK. It's just that you have to be patient. It's a process. You have to be consistent, and in that process, you have to learn. So it's not that in the first shot you're going to get it. That's not very usual. But then, yeah, if you do a couple of assessment centers, a couple of interviews here and there, talk to the careers team, get insights from them, talk to other members of the cohort, then I think there are a lot of chances for people like us to bag a job here in the UK, because opportunities are there. Yes, as Saurabh was saying, companies take time to revert. It's a tedious process. It gets to you at times, but then at the end of it, I think it all makes sense, or it should all make sense.
Nice.
And the university careers team, they are there to guide you in every process, starting from tailoring your CV, getting you ready for the interview. If you have any questions, the different parts of the assessment centers, like group discussions, how to go about that, what to say, what not to say, which parts to focus, and all of that. So all that's covered from the careers team, I think, whenever you need it. So that's a given.
Nice. And that's uplifting as well, I'm sure, for students who are motivated by the work opportunities, that you feel it's a good market to be entering into, a good job market. So that's great, guys. There's really good answers there. Thank you for your insights thus far. I'm now going to turn us to the questions, because I know that quite a few have been flooding in. So I'm going to try to make sure we cover as many as possible. Some of them are probably best for me to answer, and then some of them for you guys. So as we go along, I'll answer some and you can answer some likewise. So let's just go back and have a look. Are there offline management programs also available with the university for Indian students? Absolutely, yes. So there are face-to-face courses. So Etisham right now is doing an offline face-to-face management course in Bath, and there are many different options there, both at undergraduate, postgraduate level, for you to explore. In terms of applying for PhDs, so questions come through about how to apply for PhDs. Basically, there's two options to do that. One is to look at the university's research portal, which is where you can find all the research currently being conducted by the university or at the university, and then you can identify a suitable supervisor and then go ahead and submit your application directly. If you haven't got a proposal or an idea in mind and you want to join an existing project, the best thing to do is to search on a website called Find a PhD, findaphd.com. And you will be, thank you, Saurav, and you will be able to then go ahead and look for, search and filter by universities, courses, subject areas, and so on. So there's two options for PhD level. It's not quite as clear cut as at master's and undergraduate level, but there are many opportunities to do a PhD at Bath. So do go and have a look on both the research portal and Find a PhD. Thank you for your question. Deadline for January 2022. Do you have a deadline for January 2022? I can just confirm we don't have January entry points. So the only times in which you can start a course at Bath, except for some very select online courses, is in September time. So September 2022 or September 23 are the options there. Are there scholarships available? There are scholarships depending on the course of interest. For postgraduate programs, for example, at master's level, you're looking at scholarships ranging from £5,000 up to £15,000, depending on the course in question. Okay, here's a question I can now give myself a break and open up for you guys. So what do you think are the pros and cons, if there are any, about getting a master's degree in the UK for international students? We've kind of covered that already, I think, during the presentation. I don't know if there's anything extra we haven't covered that you want to add there, pros or cons, about more generally studying in the UK. Just jump in, guys, if you've got anything, but we have kind of covered a lot of that in the first part of today's presentation, probably after the question was asked. Silence is golden. That's fine. Hopefully we did cover the questions, but if you've got anything you want to add to that, whoever wrote that question in, please do. For international students, is there help finding jobs after graduation? I'm quite glad that lots of these questions have been covered in the talk. So again, hopefully you're satisfied with that, with the answers been given for that question. And then about filling in scholarship application, when do you receive results? So if you're looking at October 2022 intake, there are different rounds to scholarships. So if you applied in the April deadline, you will get your announcement if you're successful in the next week or so. If you haven't yet applied for scholarships and you're thinking to start in 2022, don't worry, fear not, you can still apply for scholarships. The last deadline is mid-July. So if you haven't got an application in yet, or you haven't got an offer yet, just as soon as you get an offer, accept the offer, to pay your deposit, and you can then go ahead and apply for scholarships still. Nice. So next one is, do we have industry visits for the MSc management course? MSc management course is, I guess, quite similar to international management. In company visits, I'm not completely sure you visit companies per se. I could be mistaken there. I know in the MBA course you do. In the School of Management MSc courses, there are opportunities to engage with companies on challenges. Etisham, being a School of Management student, have you had any opportunities thus far to join any challenges? It might have been in the first week as well. You joined the Big Four challenge.
Yeah. So that was the first challenge I joined. So basically that session is going to give you an overview about what the onboarding process for applying for Big Four is. And I think if you attend that process, that gets you covered for your applications to all job profiles, because that is very intensive, as Big Four onboarding process, recruitment process is very intensive. So if you attend that, challenge, it gets you covered basically for the applications which you're going to do throughout the year. And then there are a lot of challenges which keeps coming, though I didn't attend, but I know many of my course mates, they did attend the Sustainable Business Challenge and a lot of other challenges where you have to make business models related to part of the managerial aspect of business. So yeah, those are very interesting. You can get yourself involved, and that adds up to your CV as well. So that is, if you have time, you have interest, you should get yourself involved.
Yeah, excellent, Shan. Thank you. Yeah, that is probably one of the key reasons they have incorporated the challenges and the Big Four team challenge into the course, is to give those students on the programs that chance, as you say, to like use those experiences throughout the year when you're applying for jobs as well. And that kind of covers the second question that came through, which was about the Big Four campus visit and placement stuff. So hopefully that's kind of touched upon their question as well. In terms of work experience required for the MBA course, if you're looking to do an MBA course at Bath, really you need to have a bare minimum of 3 years of relevant management experience. On average, you're looking at students with about 5 to 7 years of management experience on the MBA course. If you're a fresh graduate or you've graduated within the last 3 years or under, then you might want to be looking at the MSc Management, MSc International Management program, and so on. So slight a difference there. In terms of IELTS score, for all of the management or business related courses, you need 7.0 overall and 6.5 in each component. A question came through actually, and I was going to say this anyway, is that you can apply currently with a 12th standard grade at 75% in English. So if you've got 75% in English in your 12th standard, you can go ahead and apply for to meet your English requirement in that route, and that would be kind of what you sometimes term an IELTS waiver. Just bear in mind you had to have graduated within 5 years from your bachelor's degree. So if you're a prospective MBA student with 10 years of business experience, you would still need to go and do an IELTS. But if you graduated from your degree in the last 5 years, you would be eligible for that route, that waiver. And that's for all courses at Bath, not just the School of Management. That's all MSc or MA courses. Perfect. Lots of other questions that are quite technical. So what is the visa and application deadline? So application deadline for 2022, September, is end of June ideally. So we do encourage you to get your applications in sooner rather than later. Once you're unconditional, you will pretty much automatically get your pre-CAS check, and you can start the visa process as soon as you get your unconditional offer and you've accepted it. There are no January intakes, as I mentioned. We've mentioned quite a few of these questions have been answered. I'm glad to see in the talk. But there is a specific question about digital marketing. Can I apply for MSc marketing with 10 years of experience? Unfortunately, the MSc courses in the School of Management are designed for students with 3 years or under, generally speaking, of real world experience, business experience. So with 10 years, the main course that springs to mind that you'd be suited for within the school would be the MBA program. But you could be eligible for an MBA on the MBA course with 10 years of experience, depending on the experiences you've gained. And there's a question again about IELTS, and I've already covered. So yeah, you can use your 12th standard in most circumstances. And there's a question coming through about surgical fellowship. So the School of Management the University of Bath doesn't have a medical school. So if you're looking to do something related to surgery, Bath isn't the destination for you, I'm afraid. The closest we have is pharmacology, pharmacy, but yeah, granted, that's not the same thing. For the Masters in International Development, there are 2 scholarships available, each worth £5,000. So you can apply once and be considered for both of those scholarships. So that's £10,000 is available for international development offer holders, but you do need to apply for the next round of scholarships. As I mentioned, the deadline is end of July. Whew. And here we go. Another question. I think this might be the final question from what I can see here. As an MSc supply chain management student, what technical skills should I be prepared with before joining Bath? Now, unfortunately, we don't have specifically a supply chain management student here. However, more generally, let's broaden that question out to an MSc student or an MA student coming to Bath. Is there anything you think students should prepare before coming? Let's start with you, Saurav, as a data science student. Was there anything you think you should, depending on the course, but generally prepare before you?
Yeah. So there is nothing that university recommends, but something my personal recommendation will be to get a good hands on Python and if possible on SQL also. And apart from that, basics of linear algebra and statistics and probability is more than enough. And University of Bath will also send every student a reading list, which basically covers all the prerequisites. So if you can go through all the reading list, it is more than sufficient to as far as prerequisite is concerned.
Love it. And okay, that's very great. Etisham, how about yourself?
So my suggestions are nothing very technical. What I would suggest is to just get accustomed to the referencing style, do a lot of reading, get into the habit of reading, because here you have to write a lot, get yourself to deliver some assignments or any projects which you are doing lately via MS Word or via the laptop, because here everything is done that way, and just get into the hang of reading and referencing and all of that, so that, because that is that thing you're going to need here at every step. So, and university is very, very particular about referencing and plagiarism and all of that. So if you have a good grasp, then you're going to be more confident.
Yeah, I think that's wise advice.
If I can add to what Etisham said, just get hands-on with LaTeX if you can. It would be really useful for at least Department of Computer Science, because you would definitely need LaTeX, and it's not a very difficult thing to get hang on of.
Okay, good. Practical advice there from both of you. I think we're going to kind of wrap things up now. Just before we do, just very succinctly, one piece of advice more generally, or one tip for incoming students, perhaps not related to the course, but just what to expect as a student in the UK or at Bath. Let's start with you, Etisham.
I'm sorry, could you please get the question?
Just one final snippet, one top tip, just generally, so students make the most of the time as a student at Bath or in the UK.
I would suggest that you meet more people, because here in UK, networking is very important. That is something which is going to stay with you even after you complete the course. So 1 year is going to pass in a flash. So you make the most out of everyone you meet, from your faculty to your cohorts, and try to get involved yourself in activities where you need to get out of your comfort zone and meet different people, learn new things. because if you spend your time staying all by yourself, then you're missing out on a lot of things. Because here, even if you talk to a normal person, they have got a lot to say, and that is going to come as a learning thing for you. So the more you meet, the more you explore, the more you're going to grow. And that is how I would suggest you make the most out of your time, because 1 year, it's a very short time. You won't even realize that it is going to come to an end. So
yeah. So seize the moment. That's what I'm hearing from you, Jam. Yeah, carpe diem, as they used to have tattooed everywhere. Okay, perfect. And then final note from you, Saurav.
Saurabh, I think you're on mute.
Oh, someone had to do it, and it was me.
There we go. Nearly got through the whole day, the whole presentation without muting themselves. Go on, Saurav.
Yeah. So basically, I would like to give two tips. One is attention to detail, like pay attention to every detail, because this is 1 year course, and then there will be a lot happening. So if you can give attention to detail, every bit and pieces would make more sense. And the second point would be like, once you come here, it will be a cultural shock for you. There will be a lot of changes because it's obviously you're changing a country. It's not that easy, but just don't take it so seriously. Just go with the flow, and after like 2-3 months you will feel that this is your own country and you won't feel that strange anymore.
Perfect. I think great advice from both of you. There we go, guys. I think we're going to finish there. So thank you to everyone who joined today and watched this talk. Hopefully you found it insightful, useful. I'm sure you did. And thank you, SI UK, for giving us the opportunity, the platform here today. And yeah, good luck with everybody in your applications. And for the two remaining panelists, good luck with your final stretch of studies. Until then, take care, everybody, and thank you.